Hello and welcome to So You Think You're Awake, the show about life transformation through dream interpretation. I'm Michael Sheridan. On this show, through analysing your dreams, I reveal your potential and the obstacles you need to overcome. I'm very specific. I tell you the magic power you have, what makes you magnificent, and the bumps in life that are holding you back. These bumps are not in the way, they are the way. To get your dream analysed on my show, go to dream-analysis.com, fill in the form and submit your dream. That's it. That's all you have to do. I take it from there. So my course started yesterday. Absolutely delighted. This is a 10-month long program where I teach people how to channel and interpret dreams, just like I do. I've wanted to do this for years. Well, that's probably not exactly true. I've wanted to do it for the last couple of years, 2.5 years. I had wanted to do it years before that, but I never really did it except for individuals because it takes so much effort. But now I've got a system in place that makes it very affordable and very exciting for me too. So I'm really happy with that. A lot of people helping me. There's 9 of us, in fact, involved in this, delivering this course. But also we had the solstice yesterday, so that's really cool. Talk about stepping into the light. I said last week that I would possibly talk about male energy. But what I've done instead is I have a dream that shows male energy, and that's going to have to do, rather than me doing anything like that. So why do I do this show? Why do you come to the earth plane? Why? It's all about you improving yourself, improving and learning more about yourself from a spiritual perspective, so that you can grow spiritually and regain your former power that you already had. So that's why we're here. A lot of people ask, why is the earth plane difficult? Why is it not an idyllic place? And the answer is because it's really, where we are here is kind of like a hospital. We're here to heal. And you never are in a place of healing without having to look at what you're healing. So, that's the point of it. And obviously we're happy with it because we come here over and over and over again. And many people have memories of past lives, and some of the dreams, the male energy dream I'm going to do at the start today shows past life influence. But a lot of the times we don't carry the memory of it because we don't need to. It's like, think about the person who punishes themselves for something that they've done, out of guilt or shame or whatever it is. It doesn't help them in any way to grow. Punishing yourself does not help you in any way. And if you ask your guides, they will always say it's about forgiveness and about raising your vibration and moving on, making choices going forward as opposed to making choices about things that you got wrong in the past. And one of the things that I had asked them and I shared on a show before was, what happens for people who pick lifetimes where they punish themselves? So they're going to live a lifetime in misery, because they feel they need to do that to atone for something terrible that they've done. And I was asking, how long do you have to do that before there is a beneficial effect? Or what way does it work? And they said that all that happens is people punish themselves, spirits punish themselves by coming here until they realize that the punishing themselves actually does nothing. No benefit whatsoever from it at all. And when you realize that, then you realize that you've got to do the work to improve yourself. And that's the proper way to atone. Change how you are. There's no amount of paying off for something that you've done that's wrong is going to fix that. But if you change, then at least something positive has come from how you were. Anyway, we don't carry the memory of former lifetimes, because if we did, we would be in that state of misery all the time, feeling like we need to be punished. Not all of us, of course, but there's always, you could pretty much say for anybody who's here, they are going to have past lifetimes that they are not proud of. And so we don't have the memory of it. They've tried lots of different things, lots of different experiments on the earth plane and how they use the planet. And this is just the current experiment. Which works pretty well. It works well for most of the cases, but for some cases it doesn't. Some people come here and they actually go backwards in terms of awareness. That's obviously the worst thing that can ever happen. But that's why our whole spirit doesn't come into our body. We just get a small fragment. We get the soul, our higher self stays behind. And it's kind of like a way of putting chips on the table and gambling something without risking all the previous winnings that you've already had. And so the system is like it's the way it is because so many different systems have been tried, but we're moving into a different system. Male energy is going to, like the society we're in now is based on male energy. Male energy props everything up. It's all about control and trying to have, if you have a fear about something, you want to put controls in place that make you not have that fear. Female energy, which is what we're moving into, is all about acceptance, forgiveness, letting go, and accepting, nurturing, caring, helping, lots of other things too. It's just so completely different. Like female energy does not put up protections. Female energy does not try control anything. And so the systems of control that are in place, that are abused right now, they're going to disappear because they can't exist in a female energy system because it's just not female energy. So anyway, let's move on and do some of the dreams. But the point is, you come here to grow spiritually. So it doesn't matter what else is going on around you, like involve yourself in everything that you want, but realize that ultimately you're here to grow. And for a lot of people, the growth also means helping other people to grow. But it's always a two-way street. You always get something for you doing that too. So let's have a look at the first dream. This one is from Alison. And I didn't even record the title of the dream. I pasted them into a different document so that I have them all together, and I've missed the title, so apologies for that. She says, I was in some house that apparently I was sharing with other people, at least another couple. My son was there, his current age. I was standing in a little room off the main hallway, not really a bathroom, but I was looking in a mirror. I had come to the mirror to check something on my skin, I think. Okay, so the start of the dream is about being in the womb. The little room off the hallway, like a cloakroom or something like that, is a perfect symbol in a dream to represent the womb. So the dream starts there and talks about the influences that the dreamer has picked up. So her son walks behind her, so we know it's something to do with male energy that's connected to what she picked up while in the womb. She's gone to check something on her skin. My son walked behind me to go to the kitchen to have his breakfast. So we know it's also connected to the digestive system. And the digestive system, any system within your body that supports you, our digestive system breaks down food to help us stay alive, keep us healthy. So that support system is also governed by male energy. And which is really why I picked this dream. The door of the little room was open, but for some reason I took off my pajama top to check my skin. And that's good in a dream. Like to not have clothes in a dream is good, even though in the dream she doesn't feel that. I was busily doing that and the male roommate came to talk to me. So again, male energy. He was standing on my left side. I was answering his questions and then he moved in to hug me. I became embarrassed because I remembered I was topless. I tried to squirm away from the hug to slip on my top, but he wouldn't let go of me. I was confused at first, but then tried harder to push him away. He pulled me closer to him and squeezed me tightly. I could tell he wanted me to know that he was aroused. I got angry and really tried to get him off me, but I couldn't. I started to yell, trying to get my husband's or my son's attention, but no one came. So something went on in a previous lifetime. This lifetime is connected to that. And we see that at this part of the dream. We see it in another, like later on in the dream too. So she has to help heal an aspect of male energy that we see in this dream where the imbalance goes because of this former life. We'll see it coming up. But this guy who's forcing herself on her is reminding her about a time in a previous lifetime when this was the case for a long period of time. And where are we at in this dream? I started to yell, trying to get my husband's or my son's attention, but no one came. So this means in a former life, she was in this situation where she was being abused by a couple. So we have the couple at the start of the dream, and we'll see this negative couple later on, but mostly the man. And she was screaming for male energy, basically screaming for support, for help, and wasn't getting it. And that caused an imbalance. Like, I'm not supported. Male energy is not there. So when I come in this time, I'm going to try fix the imbalance of male energy that I didn't have. And we know that her fix is to do something connected to her digestive system. And I'm going to come back to that. And I say that because the son goes into the kitchen. I wasn't even sure if my husband was in the house, but I knew my son was. So I screamed. I was horrified to realize that the more I struggled, the more aroused this guy became. He looked like the character from Frank, from Man in the High Castle. So this is the part that really tells us it's a past life. And that there's a positive reason for connecting this up in this lifetime. So castles, of course, don't come from this time period. So when you see a castle in a dream, we know it's about a past life thing. If you have a dream that has any sort of like past life setting, then you know it's about past life stuff. But so this is really what tells us, but we could have guessed it anyway because it's all in the womb. She hasn't lived her life yet, and yet here's this imbalance and this problem with male energy. And we've had other dreams on the show that have gone this way, so it shouldn't be too much of a surprise. But here it's directly called out that this is a past life thing. I struggled but couldn't get my hands free, so I used my foot to pound the wall to the kitchen. So again, she's like, the kitchen is male energy, the digestive system is male energy, and she's doing it in the dream, she says, trying to get my son's attention. So it's like, I am going to amp up my male energy this time around so that I don't need anybody's support. And it's not really that she's saying in her mind, I don't need anybody's support. She's trying to make up for the fact that she didn't get it when she so desperately needed it before. And her way to do it, the way that it works out, is connected to the digestive system. So that has become like, that's going to fix everything. If I eat and eat, that's going to fix everything. Or if I use it in a way that's not really balanced. Of course, she doesn't say this deliberately and intentionally, but the idea is that if we were to look at all the different things that have to do with male energy is about feeling supported, feeling worthy of the space you occupy, and all that sort of stuff, projecting yourself into the world. When that's not there, we can feel like we can compensate for that by doing some male energy thing, by overdoing it. And here the overdoing it is connected with an eating disorder. Anyway, I wondered if I wondered if my son had his earphones on and that's why he couldn't hear me. So we know she can channel. Next thing I know, we are in bed. He'd raped me, but I don't recall that part, thank God. He is still holding me and not letting me free. Every time I try to grab his hands, trying to pull back a finger, even break one if I have to, he slips through my fingers. I'm crying and terrified that he's had his way with me and I still can't break free from his grip. Then I feel his girlfriend slip into the bed on my other side. She seems happy that I am there, obviously thinking I've consented. I finally break free and stand over them, yelling through my tears that he just raped me and I don't want anything to do with either one of them. I'm shaking and trying to hurt them, hitting at them, but none of my blows connect. I am so frustrated. And then I wake up thoroughly traumatized. So the feeling you had when you woke up is a real feeling, obviously. It's not, you're not in the dream anymore. But that feeling of thoroughly traumatized is a feeling from a former life, which is what the dream is putting you in touch with. And we can tell, well, from the channeling I did on the rest of your dream, there was a woman involved. She was okay with the fact that you were basically being used as a sex slave, because if she pretended to be on board with all of that, and she kind of was, not 100%, but she didn't do anything to help you, it saved her. And so this is a past life that you've got to heal, and healing that past life is going to heal your digestive system, which is something you're obviously aware of. Did I leave anything out of that? No. But the point is, I'm sure I did. There's lots of things I could have talked about. But the point of this is to show how everything really is all about energy, male and female energy, and how we manifest it and use it. And when we've got the balance wrong, it shows up imbalanced in our lives. And male energy in our society is extremely unbalanced at this point. But we have moved into the female energy age, and there isn't the abundance of male energy that allowed that imbalance. That's no longer there. So these systems are going to fall. They just have to. So let's move on. And we have Debbie's dream. Debbie says, I was walking through a doctor's waiting room and a doctor I used to work with walked past and said, "You are looking gorgeous today, Debbie." I was shocked, as this doctor is so quiet, but does have a great sense of humour, but is very respectful and would never say anything like this out loud. Okay, so then that's about your male energy, of course. I'm going to say this little part at the end. She says, so I understand that the doctor symbolises hands-on healing. No, he doesn't. Never does. So doctors symbolise your state of mind, because you're in a doctor's surgery, or you say waiting room. So yeah, so that symbolizes your state of mind. So this dream is about healing something to do with your state of mind. And we can see then from the dream where you say he's normally very quiet and reserved, it means you're normally very quiet and reserved. And so this dream is trying to fix your male energy imbalance. That's why he's male. And he's also a guide. So whatever he's doing is correct. And he's showing you that you need to speak up. You need to speak your mind. And you think being quiet and shy and reserved is being respectful. It isn't. If you know something that you need to tell somebody and you don't tell them, there is no way that is respect. That is you trying to protect yourself. And like I said, male energy, when not played properly, you try to protect by controlling. So you control what you say. Anyway, when we are then outside smoking, this is something I've not done since I was in school 30 years ago. This reminded me of Freud with his sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. Well, the smoking here is about sex, but it's also about you doing things to fit in. So you like to fit in and you don't like to stand out, you know, et cetera, et cetera. And the dream is reminding you of years ago when you did things that you only did to fit in. And then you say, I then appear to be kissing him and then having sex with him and thinking, this is not too bad. He doesn't taste of smoke. And she does a face palm emoji there, which I think is hilarious, because obviously, how is the tasting of smoke the main thing when you're having sex with this guy? But this is about you embracing your male side, you know, in a positive way, the positive aspects of your male side that give you the permission to basically occupy the space that you have, feel worthy of the space that you have in the room, like that I'm entitled to say what I want. I have the confidence to say it. You know, that confidence is another male energy thing. So let's go with the confidence, because it's always handy to put a particular finger on it. And then you say, I am then at an auction and a celebrity I follow on Instagram is selling a handmade earring made from shells. So the earring is about hearing your guides. So you have the ability to hear your guides. And then now we understand the rest of the dream. You don't say what your guides tell you. And you need to start speaking up and stop being the quiet, shy and reserved person. And the shells give us part of the problem, because shells are about protecting yourself, you know, having a shell around yourself so that you don't feel uncomfortable. Well, we see this in the next part. You say she asks £25 and nobody is reacting. English dreamer, obviously. I can feel how uncomfortable she is, so I offer £30 and I say to her, I had to bid. It is in my humanitarian nature. I could never leave you uncomfortable. So it's you feeling uncomfortable is what makes you hold back. You don't want to be uncomfortable, so you don't tell people the things that you think would make them uncomfortable. And that's not how it works. You have to realize that when your guides tell you something, they know how the person's going to react. Leave it up to them, the experts. Leave it up to them to decide whether it's appropriate to say or not. You can, of course, say it whatever way you want, as long as you are conveying the proper message. But don't censor what your guides are telling you to say. And sometimes your guides will also tell you don't say something, because again, they know it's not going to help a person. Think of it this way. Anytime, because we were talking about abuse earlier in the previous stream, when somebody is abducted, the police will always get a number of calls from people who say, I saw the little boy or I saw the little girl. And when asked afterwards, why on earth do they do that and give misleading information to the police? They say, I didn't want the parent to feel bad. I wanted them to feel there was hope. So they give complete wrong information. And the police know this happens because they want somebody to feel good, absolutely not helping anybody. I know it's a strong contrast, but it's still the point is there. Don't change the information. Give whatever your you're meant to give. And don't try to protect yourself. Why? Well, this is a big one. Because life is not about protecting ourselves. Life is about being comfortable to be ourselves at all times. So part of your life is about you channeling and giving information to people the way you get it, and becoming more and more comfortable to give the information the way you get it. And when you can finally do it, you'll understand this. When you can finally do it and not feel like it's any reflection on you, the information is no reflection on you, you will have grown through the fact that you try to hide your heart, you try to hide yourself behind a shell because you don't like situations that make you feel uncomfortable. But, don't hide your light, as they say. So that's, okay, I thought there was a bit more, but that's where you say, I understand that the doctor symbolizes hands-on healing. No, he doesn't. And shells are about not opening my feelings to others. Yes, they are. But here the shell is directly about the channeling. So it's like you hide part of the channeling that you get. But that's it. That's good. And then we have another one. This one is from Adrian. She says, this was a dream from June 6th. I know it has to do with channeling and my karmic path. I was born to present these gifts. This is a comment on the dream, presumably. 6 and 7, spiritual enlightenment and dharmic path. Mago, I don't know if I've pronounced that right, is a magician, she asks. He lives in balanced perfection. I do know I marry him and it's a perfect marriage. So that's what happens in the dream. So she calls it delivering two gifts. So we know straight away this is about you. Definitely you have a channeling gift because of the number 2 being so prominent and being beside the word gift. So here's the dream. I have to deliver 2 gift bags. I gift one to my friend. I understand she is pregnant. So that's really good. So it's to do with channeling, and being pregnant in the dream means that this gift is about to come to fruition. It's about to be born or manifest on the earth plane, which is what a baby does when they're born. The other gift I take to a man. I walk into the apartment building. So apartments are about the heart. The main entrance is on the 5th floor. So this is why you said it's about the karmic path. So quite interesting that the main entrance is on the 5th floor. We learn about ourselves through the 5 senses. And that's why 5 in dreams is about karma. But it can also be about sensitivity. Anyway, I have to go up 1 floor. Several men are sitting on the stairs. So going up 1 floor is about the dharmic path, moving beyond the 5 senses, moving into female energy. Several men are sitting on the stairs. Then I'm at an elevator. One of the men asks, hey, what's your eye color? I smile and say, hazel. He smiles and says, beautiful. So you have a 2-tone eye color. So we have that as well. Because we know channeling is one of your gifts, and because the eyes are pointed out, and because the number 2 is connected to the eyes, we know clairvoyance is part of how you channel. You get images. And in my recent series, I talked about 9 different ways that channeling works. You need to know how it works for you, because there's no point trying the methods that will not work. They just won't work. I entered the elevator and pressed 2. Of course you do, because you're trying to channel. Thinking it'll take me up, it curves and heads down. Whoops, so we didn't want to do that in this dream. I hit the 6/7 button. The elevator turns and goes up. I'm at the man's door, apartment 808. So 8 is to do with expanding yourself. So this is about you raising your vibration, which is what the elevator going up is about. And the 8 is like 8 is the infinity symbol turned vertically, basically. So it's like this is a good goal for you, very positive number. So is the 6 and 7, also very positive. We know 7 is about spirituality, so it's about your spiritual path. But we know that just from the gifts anyway. I knock and a young man answers. His name is Mago, blue eyes, thick hair. He's handsome and kind looking. So Mago comes from the Magi, the wise men that met and gave gifts to baby Jesus at the Epiphany. And so this guy is going to stand for a magician or wisdom. So it's like you are elevating yourself to access spiritual wisdom, let's say, and that's really good. Then you say, I'm at a rodeo. The friend points to her tummy and indicates the gift was perfect timing. So I'm going to skip the rodeo. The perfect timing is good. So it's like, if you're wondering, is this something you should do? Yes, of course. It is good timing. I don't know what I gave her, but I'm glad. Maga walks towards me and I see that he and I are together forever. Again, very good. And this dreamer had many dreams before. Some I've done on the show. where very negative male characters are out at the gate and knocking at doors and so on. So this is such a massive turnaround. I mean, the men on the stairs and the men inside the building, not necessarily good, even though they're positive, but so it's going to be about how did you feel at that point in the dream, because that's going to tell you how you felt about male energy at the start of your life, and then that's going to be connected to why would you feel that. But you don't give us any of that details, but that's okay. But here we have super, super positive. I must have woken up and went back to sleep. Mago is then looking in a mirror. He has a cut above his left eye and a bruise on his left cheek. So this is about you healing your male side, or healing from bruises in the past, being hurt in the past. That's what the left is about. We will be sleeping on some mats at someone's house. He says next time we're staying at a B&B. So that's good. That's about improving your, like sleeping on the mats on the floor versus sleeping in a nice bed. It's like giving yourself things, not denying yourself things. That's something you have to obviously work on. I come over and turn his face towards mine. I think he is more handsome. Even after all these years, I kiss him and I feel so much love. So that's really, really good. I love that dream. Love how it ends. So anything else in that dream that I'm skipping? No, this dreamer is doing a course to learn about channeling. And so if you're doing something and you have a dream like this, we know it's super, super good. But you also have, you're also a counselor. We know that because that's what a wise wisdom in a dream symbolizes. So that's part of the two gifts. You're a channel and you're a counselor, and probably a spiritual leader as well, depending on Mago's status. But I really like the dream, and it's a super endorsement for what you're doing, because if you weren't meant to do it, you wouldn't have this positive dream. And the B&B, why the B&B? The B&B says, look, we come in and we live a short life, so that we can grow and learn about ourselves. So if we all looked at that and said, really life is about me growing and learning about myself, like I said at the start, we would take a lot more risks. We would do the things we know that we came here to do, because that's what our life is about, as opposed to coming here and trying to protect ourselves. Well, that's my show for this week. Thanks everybody for listening. See you next week.